Just after Hurricane Helene had made landfall in the southeast, Hurricane Milton, another powerful storm, pounded Florida. President Joe Biden has urged Congress to move as rapidly as they can to pass additional emergency funds, particularly to help replenish loans for small businesses devastated by the hurricanes, since the back-to-back disasters have put a strain on some disaster relief agencies. Biden and congressional representatives from both parties have maintained that lawmakers have to return to Washington sooner rather than later to authorize additional cash. However, it doesn't appear that will occur until after the election in November. In the weeks preceding Election Day, lawmakers have always been expected to take a break and visit their districts. However, emergency authorities and others are not merely urging Congress to increase funding. The Federal Emergency Management Authority has issued a warning about false information, stating that it may deter survivors from getting help. This is what you should know. What has previously been done by Congress? A compromise that prolonged FEMA's existing funding level of $20 billion through December 20 was passed by Congress last month. Additionally, they provided more flexibility than normal by including a mechanism for the agency to use that money rapidly if necessary. The White House and congressional Democrats had requested more funding for FEMA and the Small Business Administration to assist with long-term cleanup work after other disasters, such as the wildfires that devastated Maui last year, but that bill omitted such funds. What is required by FEMA? The amount of additional funds required to solve the disasters in the long run has not been clearly stated by FEMA officials. They have, however, stated that they have sufficient funds to assist survivors in the near future. It will cost several $billions to reconstruct after both hurricanes, Biden stated on Thursday. Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas stated Thursday that, "We have the resources to respond to the immediate needs of individuals impacted by Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton, and the tornadoes that resulted from either storm. When Congress reconvenes, that said, we will need additional funds." Before Milton struck Florida on Wednesday night, FEMA Administrator Deanne Criswell told reporters that the agency had already spent about $9 billion of the $20 billion Congress had budgeted for the remainder of the year in just 1 week. This is also because it was paying states back after pausing funds for natural catastrophes they had experienced earlier in the year. However, there has been a lot of disinformation and conspiracy theories regarding FEMA's resources, such as claims that the organization only has $750 per person available or that it does not have enough money to assist hurricane victims. As lawmakers from impacted areas and FEMA have pointed out, that isn't the truth. Earlier this week, Criswell expressly rebutted incorrect statements made by former President Donald Trump regarding the efforts to recover from Hurricane Helene. Among these have been claims that North Carolina has no helicopters, no rescue. Broader false information regarding recovery initiatives, she said, is creating mistrust in the federal government, but also the state government. Additionally, a large number of first responders have been working around the clock to assist these areas. What about other important resources? Struggling is another important source of funding for disaster assistance. In a letter to congressional leaders on Friday, Biden stated that if Congress does nothing, the Small Business Administration will run out of cash in a matter of weeks. In addition to providing loans to individual homeowners and renters to help them pay for repairs to their homes or other personal property, the organization assists businesses in the wake of disasters. According to Biden, SBA loans are frequently the largest source of federal disaster recovery funds for private citizens. About 3,000 applications are now being received daily by the organization from survivors of Helene, and it will probably require an additional $1.6 billion to run for the remainder of the year. In a statement, SBA Administrator Isabel Casillas Guzman said, "We look forward to working with Congress to secure the federal resources necessary to ensure the SBA can continue funding affordable disaster loans for homeowners, renters, small businesses, and nonprofits. When Americans need help the most, they shouldn't have to wait for it." What is the desire of legislators? Congress should be coming back and moving on emergency needs immediately, Biden told reporters Thursday, adding that they would also need to return after the election. Several lawmakers, including a dozen nonpartisan senators, 60 Democrats, and other House Republicans from Hurricane Helene-affected states, have also stated that it is imperative to return sooner rather than later. However, House Speaker Mike Johnson, a Republican from Louisiana, has not said he intends to summon legislators back to a vote. Johnson told reporters in North Carolina on Wednesday that FEMA has only disbursed 1% of the funds authorized by the extension in September. The administration and FEMA currently have the resources needed to meet the immediate needs, he stated. According to Johnson, state and local governments next evaluate the harm and decide what assistance from the federal government they require. Then Congress takes action, he continued. But regrettably, those calculations will take some time to complete.